Now news this evening. The Chief Electoral Officer issues notice for candidate nominations open for the pending general elections in April. Health take a proactive approach with awareness campaigns to destroy mosquito breeding places and minimize risks of dengue fever reaching the island. A fishing boat needing to be towed back 3 times in 1 week raises concerns for safety at sea. Nominations are now open for candidates for the pending national general elections that will be held on the 12th of April. The Chief Electoral Officer has issued a public notice for nominations for the village constituency seats and common roll seats. With less than a month to go, village seat nominations will require 2 electors within that constituency to nominate a candidate. As for the common roll seats, any 2 registered electors from any constituency can nominate a candidate. In both instances, candidates will need to confirm their nomination. Candidate nominations close on Thursday, the 27th of March, with the Chief Electoral Officer at the Justice Department. With the rise of dengue fever circulating in the Pacific region and confirmed cases of Zika virus in the Cook Islands and Easter Island, the Niue Health Department has issued precautionary health notices to the public. The last time Niue had confirmed cases of dengue fever was in 2012, where 128 people were affected. Dengue fever and Zika fever are viral diseases spread to people by the bites of infected Aedes mosquitoes.
Zika and dengue virus has increased in the Pacific, and the host is the mosquito, and the symptoms are more or less the same. So it's general body fever, pain behind the eyes, and muscle pains and joint pains. So it's more or less Zika virus has the same symptoms as dengue fever.
There are no vaccines for dengue or Zika fever. Prevention is the key, and people are encouraged to remove potential mosquito breeding areas. The Public Health Division is taking a proactive approach to reminding people not to be complacent, but to take action now and do their part. Health has increased their outreach programs to make sure people are better prepared, with an emphasis on cleaning up around homes.
We are continuing to emphasize on the importance of cleaning up the island, getting rid of the empty cans or all the mosquito breeding places there are on the island. And I think because most of the inquiries that we've gotten throughout the whole of last week in regards to the preventative side of things, people are determined for us to go back and do the mosquito spraying program. Now, the mosquito spraying program is only a small part of the prevention for dengue fever, but the major part for us is for us to do our part in cleaning up our homes.
Health representatives say that their vector spraying program is only a part of the solution, and they need public cooperation to continue cleaning around homes and removing any potential mosquito breeding areas. There are also warnings for those who intend to travel to areas affected with either dengue or Zika fever.
For those of us who are traveling, most importantly the government officials, because there are meetings that we have to attend overseas. I think the most important thing for us is to try and look after ourselves, and by doing that, we'd like to encourage them to take extra precautions while they're overseas, especially in places that already has dengue fever cases at the moment, to try and stay in their rooms and stuff, especially the aircon rooms that have air conditioning or netting on the windows, and if possible to use insect repellents. And most importantly, on return, if they feel like they have the dengue symptoms, to notify the hospital immediately.
Health officials have also started screening passengers at the airport. There are a set of internal measures being taken with the hope that the island will not be affected by dengue or Zika outbreaks that are in the region. Fishermen in the village of Avasele have voiced concerns for safety at sea following an incident involving one fisherman who needed to be towed in 3 times in 1 week. Police say that one of their officers raised concerns as this was not the first time this individual had encountered problems with his boat and yet still chose to go out to sea, posing a risk not only to himself but others who had to assist him. According to Niue Fisheries, the boat was licensed and the fisherman's unfamiliarity with the new engine on board was the reason behind his boat stalling at sea. It is reported that there was no spare engine on board. However, according to Fisheries, it is not required by law for boats smaller than 16 foot long. There were oars on the vessel, but the fisherman was too far out to consider paddling back to shore. Fisheries say although these boats are not made to go out too far, there are no laws to limit smaller boats to stay closer to land. Since the incident, fisheries officials have provided training for the individual on the proper use of the engine and set a stern reminder to make sure that all safety precautions and gears are taken when going out to sea. In the meantime, a slight miscommunication between police and Niue Fisheries has both departments working together to resolve a few minor issues to ensure that in future proper procedures are followed and safety is paramount. This incident is a reminder to make sure that all safety gear is actually on the boat and that people need to be familiar with their vessel before venturing out to sea. Otherwise, they risk not only their lives but also those who will have to respond to their distress calls. And those are our news stories for this evening. Do join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.